What's up, Jones Bones? It is your girl, Unitedly Random, and today I am coming back to you guys after a long amount of time away. Why? Your girl got coronavirus, so things are getting real. But you guys know that this month is SAAM's month, and if you didn't know that this month is SAAM's month, I'm gonna go ahead and put a video up right now. Go ahead and check that video out, and it will explain to you what SAAM's month is.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Now, because this is SAAM's month, I decided to do a video called Coping with Surviving. This is that video. This video is specifically talking to my survivors, though my advocates can get in on it too. You just have to think about the person that you're advocating for to get the message, and then you might get some information on how to better cope and how to heal yourself a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a long process sometimes. So before we get into looking at each of the stones, I want to go ahead and read the spread to you guys, because the person who created this spread wrote a little bit of a message to the people that they created the spread for. Okay, so this spread was created by Tarot Pros. Okay, Tarot Pros. Now, Tarot Pro says, this spread was created after I was SA'd as a way to help me cope. I was angry, lost, and unsure of what to do to give my life meaning again. I created this spread as a way to heal, to take back control of my life, my body, and to remind myself that I am not at fault. It is my greatest hope that this spread can help those who are and have been in similar positions as I am, or used to be, or used as a starting point for their own healing. I wish this spread was available for me back then, when the only thing in my life that didn't judge me harshly for what happened to me was my tarot deck. Now, this spread has 5 different positions, so I'm going to go ahead and read what each of the positions will do or are meant to do to you guys now. So position 1 is, how can I validate my experiences? Being someone who has dealt with SA'd abuse, my experiences were often trivialized by others, and I was made to feel that what happened to me was less than what it was, creating for me feelings of shame and isolation. This position provides reassurance that what you experienced was real and not okay. And I just want to add on that before we go to the next position, that I have honestly spoken to people who were like, oh, you were SA'd? It happens all the time. Like, I know a couple people that were that too. It happens way too often. And the fact that it happens way too often is not saying that there's a problem with you. It's saying there's a problem with reality. It's saying that there's a problem with our community, that we're just letting these things happen. And it's not like we want it to happen. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that it's happening enough that if I could go and talk to a group of random women, most of us are going to have some type of story in which we were made uncomfortable simply for being women. And you know what? It happens with male too, so I'm not going to minimize it to just women. People just touch people inappropriate for some reason. I don't get it. I do not get it, but that is something that I'm going to be working against in my life, okay? So for position number 2, it talks about how this experience is affecting me, because the people she told minimized her abuse. She started to think that it wasn't a big deal. She convinced herself that she could move on easily and not let it affect her. But deep down, there was still a growing toxin of hurt within her. This position brings light to how the abuse is affecting your life. It provides some clarity of some of the pain and feelings you may be suppressing. So at this point with the position number 2, we're showing you what you're hiding from yourself right now. Position number 3, how can I let go of the blame? One thing that I did a lot When dealing with this abuse was shift blame to myself. I found every excuse for why it was my fault and why I might have deserved it. This position helps you see what happened was not your fault, and you are not to blame for the abuse you endured. Position 4. How can I start to heal? It took me a while to get to this step. Healing is ugly and vicious, and it isn't easy at all. She became comfortable with being broken and didn't know what else to be anymore. And then one day she grew tired of allowing her abuser to control her life. And it was with the realization that she knew she needed to do something to heal. This position gives you a starting point or first step to help healing yourself and freeing yourself from the abuse. Now, for my people who have already been taking the steps to heal yourself from the abuse, this is just adding something else that you might need to look on. Or maybe it's reaffirming that what you are doing is definitely going to be the thing that helps you get out of that pit, okay? This is all about growth. Position 5 is talking about what support do I need. I quickly realized I couldn't heal alone. No matter how hard I tried, I needed resources that I didn't have. And seeking out those resources was incredibly scary, but so worthwhile in the end. This position showcases any external support and resources to look into regarding your healing. This could be support groups, trusted friend, or therapy, okay? We're going to go ahead and get into this reading. If you guys are still here, I know that was a lot to take in the beginning, but I wanted to go ahead and read that out to whoever's going to be watching this pick a card, because I felt like if you can't make it through that, and if that statement and all of the positions triggers you, then you probably do not need to be watching this reading. You can come back to this reading at a later date. But at this point, I wanted to just go ahead and throw this out that this is not going to be a sweetie pie type of reading, because it's something that's a very heavy topic. You know what I'm saying? So again, if you need to pause the video and go get some water while I'm talking to you guys, pause the video and go get some water. You don't feel forced to watch this video all the way through. And we're going to go ahead and get into it. So we have 3 piles. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Pile number 1 is a red carnelian heart. A red carnelian heart. Okay, red carnelian heart. Pile number 2 is a shard of crystal quartz, I do believe. A shard of crystal quartz. And then pile number 3 is a like kind of thumbstone of a red jasper. So a piece of red jasper. Before we get into these piles, I do want to read off a disclaimer, okay? Give me a second. So, before we begin, I want everyone to know that you are in control of your own reality. These readings are meant to guide you to ask more questions about life, but beyond that point, you are in control. So please use your own inner compass before relying on anyone else's compass. That includes me, okay? Right now, we're going into some healing energy, but please know that what I say doesn't always have to be your reality. What I say is my reality, but you don't have to invite it in. You know what I'm saying? So I guess what I generally want to say is all pick a card readings that I do are for entertainment purpose only. And I do believe in my pick a card readings, but I'm becoming more popular, and I feel like I need to make sure that I put that out there, because I don't want anyone trying to sue me for what I say in these readings, okay? Like, I don't say anything bad, but you know what I'm saying? So, for legal reasons, this is entertainment, okay? So let's go ahead and get into pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1. We're going to go ahead and get into your reading, starting with position number one. Now, position number one is, how can I validate my experiences? For pile number one, how can I validate my experiences? And you have a couple of cards. You have a couple of cards. One of them is a warning to me. So let's go ahead and spread them on out. How can you validate your experiences? So, with the Six of Pentacles, I get the feeling that the person that hurt you was someone that was older than you. It was someone that you kind of looked up to when you were young. It's feeling like it's someone that you had a lot of time with. It was someone that you thought was a good guy. They're always giving you presents and whatnot. And you want to know, the question is, how can I validate my experience? You have to be reminded that because of how you see that person in the past light, you see this person as a little bit of a good person, and you're like, why did this happen to me? It's more so like this person puts on fronts with different people, and the presents that they were giving you, they didn't necessarily have to be given to you with the idea that they were going to take advantage of you, but just know that there was different sides to the story, okay? There was different sides to that person, and just because you didn't see both sides of that person when you first met that person does not mean that it is your fault, you know? Validate your experience by telling yourself, if this is true, if the person was good in the beginning, they were good in the beginning. Your experience, you know, it doesn't invalidate your experience for you to be like, oh, he was always a horrible person. And for him to have been a good person to turn bad is not invalidating your experience either. It's what they did to you, right? So I feel like this might be someone who is viewed as a good person with the people around you and whatnot. And because of that viewing of him being such a good person or her being such a good person, you kind of was like, okay, they're a good person, so maybe this and this and that. You know, them being a good person does not give them any right to invalidate what happened to you. So I don't care if it's a teacher that everybody loves, them being a good person to everyone else, but you still hold this trauma does not mean that they're a good person, right? With the Six of Swords, this is in reverse. So it's kind of like, the Six of Swords is, we're going on a trip, right? And we're leaving the choppy waters and we're going to the calm waters. And it's just like, we have to hurry up and get there. You know, we got swords in our inside of our boat, and it's holding our thoughts down. It's allowing your thoughts to get the best of you. And with it being in reverse, I'm feeling like you're not pedaling forward. You're stuck in this situation. You're stuck trying to replay it, and that does not validate your experience, is what I'm saying. Because with the Devil right after it, I feel like you're becoming a little bit of a slave. Like you're letting it play back in your head that, oh, well, this person is a good person, and you're trying to beat yourself up with the fact that everybody likes this person, but they hurt you. You're beating yourself up with that information, and that's making you a little bit of a slave to the pain. With the Devil card we see right here, it's a place you don't want to be, but it's a place that you don't know that you can leave, right? But if you look at the people here, the holes that are holding them, right, they're big enough that all they have to do is lift them up and they'll take their head out of those little chains, right? So right now, to validate yourself and to make you, to generally just to validate yourself, I want you to know that it doesn't matter that that person is liked by a lot of people. It doesn't matter if they gave a lot of money and they donate and they're just seen as this good person. It's because they're not. And you need to stop you need to stop thinking, okay, well, they did this, so I guess they're apologizing and stuff like that. If you don't feel in your heart, if you don't feel satisfied with their apology, you don't have to pretend like you're okay with their apology too, okay? Because pretending and then also going back into your kind of cave and thinking about them every once in a while and feeling pain from that situation, you know, it's just a toxic pattern of I'm okay, but I'm not okay, right? And you're not okay because everybody's forcing you to deal with the situation how they would have dealt with the situation, but they haven't even dealt with a situation like this before. You feel me? So you are open to dealing with the situation either which way that you would like to deal with the situation. This is just something that I'm picking up on, but I feel like if you are feeling pressure to accept someone's apology, to validate your feelings, take that apology and spit on it. Pretty much, if it's like that, if you feel more comfortable spitting on the apology, spit on the apology. Don't let people make you feel bad for feeling how you feel about a situation that affected you. You know what I'm saying? So for position number 2, we're talking about how is this experience affecting you? How is this experience affecting group number 1? And we have the 4 of Wands, and I feel like this experience is getting in the way of you finding a little bit of your happy ever after. I think that if you are married, it's affecting your marriage in ways that you don't even recognize. You might be a little bit more defensive than you would have usually been if this thing hadn't happened to you. But we can't do what if this never did this, you would be like this. We can't really do that because we don't really know. And then also it's just a slippery slope. I don't want to think about who I would be if I never had any trauma in my life, because you know what, I have trauma in my life. So to think about, oh man, I wish I could be like this, or I wish I could do like this, is just even validating how I kept myself alive. Okay, it's invalidating your survivorness right now. Don't invalidate your survivorness, but it is getting in the way of you finding, I want to say, love. We don't have the Lover's card, but we have 2 people right here, a girl and a boy, and they're underneath this, like, I don't know what to call it, the archway. And you know that they say these archways are used for weddings and whatnot. So I think that it's getting in the way of you finding a relationship, because even if you want to be in a relationship and even if you want love, I think there's certain, oh, I'm sorry for kicking the camera, but there's a certain amount of fear that is involved in the whole situation, right? And it's kind of clouding your judgment when you're meeting new people. You might become overly attached to some people and might not even be able to find a shred of attachment for other people, but it's definitely affecting your ability to create stable relationships is what I'm also picking up on. It's affecting your ability to be stable a little bit. It's definitely affecting your ability to be stable, right? So what do we do with that information? Because like the fuck? You know, it's definitely affecting you in any way, in a way that you might not have noticed, or you might have already noticed this, okay? So this is just kind of like a, hey, look into it, right? The next position is how you can let go of the blame. How can group number 1 let go of the blame? How can group number 1 let go of the blame? And with the 3 of Swords in reverse, 3 of Swords usually represents a heartbreak off the bat, right? But with the 3 of Swords in reverse, talking about how you can let go of the pain, the 3 of Swords in reverse is talking about you gotta cry it out. And I know that you might think that you've already cried it out. I think that maybe you need to cry it out with it being 3 swords, you might need to cry it out with another person around. Specifically, what I'm hinting at is therapy. If you aren't already in therapy, go ahead and check out therapy. But with the 3 of Swords, if you are already in therapy, I think maybe if you're not feeling better at the end of each therapy session, you might need to look into getting another therapist, right, is what I'm picking up on. But it's something that's going to happen through time. As you can see with the 3 of Swords, the rain is kind of washing the black blood away from the heart. And it's also in reverse. So it's like, for some of you guys, you're already in the process of doing it, right? That's something that I'm picking up. You're already in a process of going ahead and letting go of the blame. And then for some of you guys, you still have a little work to go to let go of the blame. And I think it's specifically the ones who still have a little work to go. You guys are the ones that aren't in therapy for this. Sometimes you need a therapist, and I know it's not easy, and I know that it costs money, but you definitely need someone to talk about this with, okay? You can't continue to hold this back. If you haven't shared your story, it's calling for you to go ahead and share your story. And share your story with a community that's going to be open for receiving your story, right? So there's a Reddit page, and it's for survivors, and it's a place where survivors can just share their story, okay? So I'm saying, hey, go ahead and check out Reddit, and hey, go ahead and check out different YouTube videos and whatnot, because there's a community of people who have been through something similar to what you have been through, and just like them, you know, I am a part of that community, and just like anyone else who's went through something that you've went through, you know, and I know that you don't want someone else to go through that pain that you went through. You're like, no, that was bad, and I don't want that to happen to anyone else, right? So it's a community where we will uplift you, listen to your story, and then also, like, it feels better to just, well, at least for me, I'm a more open person. It felt better to just kind of purge everything out to other people. And it definitely was a helpful part of my healing process. But let me go on to the next card. So position number 4, how can you start to heal? So how can group number 1 start to heal? And we got the 2 of Wands, the 2 of Wands. And it's just like, when I see the 2 of Wands, I think of someone thinking about their future. I think about traveling. I'm thinking about going somewhere. And I think what I'm picking up is, how can you start to heal, and how can you, I'm feeling like you're the type of person that tries to hide away from what happened to you a little bit. And I'm not trying to put an image on you, but this is what I'm seeing, right? The type of person that's just like, okay, I'm going to do this in the future, and I'm going to do that. And how you can really start to heal is stop focusing on the future and start focusing on today and healing yourself today. Because I feel like you're trying to distract yourself with travel, you're trying to distract yourself with work, and you're trying to distract yourself with goals, but all of those things will mean nothing. Like, you can win $1 million, and you might think, oh, if I win $1 million, all my problems are gonna go away. But let me say, no, not today. I don't know why I got cat in the house, you know, type of thing. But yes, one of the stories that I can really give you about the 2 of Wands is something that I experienced myself. Is I thought that once I left my surrounding, once I left the place where I felt the most abused, I would feel good. And the thing that happened to me going all the way to Korea did not heal anything, because when I came back, it was waiting for me, and I had to go through the work of healing myself when I came back, right? And that was something that I avoid all my life. I was just thinking like, okay, I'm gonna graduate and I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna graduate and I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna be away from this, right? But no, you don't always just separate away from it and everything goes to plan. You still have to do the work. You still have to have that communication, and you still have to work through it, because you can't just ignore it, because it's always going to be there if you try to ignore it. And the thing about it all is, it's the most painful right before it starts to get better. Okay, and then a little bit of the pain kind of overshowers that it's getting better, and you're just like, but if you keep on, before soon, you're gonna feel like, okay, and it's gonna keep getting better, okay? But you have to go through the hard to go through the good, and it sucks. It really sucks, but to really heal yourself, you can't really ignore it, and get some help when you're working through this thing, you know? And I want to go ahead and look at position number 5. It says, what support do you need? I'm already picking up that you need therapy. I'm sorry if that made you feel offended that I'm like, you need therapy, but you need therapy. And give me one more second. Let me shuffle these cards. What other supports does group number 1 need? What other supports does group number 1 need? We need the Queen of Wands in our life. So this is a motherly energy, a passionate energy. Okay, have you ever told your mom what happened to you? And I think that, well, for some of you guys, your mom or a Leo in your life. I'm a Leo. You need to tell your mom or a Leo in your life, and they'll bring a lot of compassion into you, and they'll unlock a secret to you, right, with the black cat. And I think the secret will be that you'll tell someone in your life what happened to you, a mother figure, a grandmother, or a female. A lot of female energy is what I'm picking up with this, and they'll be successful, and you'll look at them and you'll be like, wow, like you have the life that I want, and I'm just over here in pain about this situation. And I feel like they might open up to you and tell you, hey, I have been there as well. And I think it really comes from, it happens a lot to people. That doesn't invalidate your feelings. It doesn't invalidate what happened to you to tell you that it happened to that person that you look up to. But I think that it happened to them too. And so by you opening up and saying, wait a minute, I want to be like you, I want to talk like you, I want to walk like you live such a fabulous life, they're going to open up and tell you, hey, this bad thing happened to me. And they're going to be very upfront about it. And they're going to say, look, I went and I did all of this healing for myself, and I turned all of that toxicness into sunflower seeds. So if you guys don't know about sunflowers, this is a little bit of movie knowledge. I'm not so sure about how true this is, but if you plant sunflower seeds in a radioactive soil, it will like clean the soil, and all, like, not sunflowers, well, sunflowers, and they have sunflower seeds. So this person is going to take what you give them, and together you guys are going to turn that toxic soil into a fertile soil that you can use to not only just feed your own soul, but feed other people's soul. And that is how you're going to grow. And that's the type of help that you need, the support that you need. And like I said throughout this reading, I would definitely love to see you guys go and get some therapy, or go ahead and reach out to people. There's a lot of different avenues that you can go with. I'm going to link some down below for places that you can go, and phone calls that you can call to try to help yourself, you know, get some type of information, and maybe find a group therapy or something like that. Okay, so much love, group number 1. I know that this was a reading that was all over the place. I didn't pre-pull cards and whatnot. We were just really speaking from the heart, and I feel like that's the only way that I can give this message to you, is from the heart. Much love and positive vibes. I hope to see you later on my channel, because at the very least, if you can't find, or you can't confide in your mother or your grandmother or a female person, I am going to be stepping into that role of Queen of Wands. I'm going to be the Queen of Wands for you, okay? And stick around with my channel, because through my channel, I'm going to speak about the things that happened to me, and also my healing journey, if this isn't a topic that's too triggering for you, okay? Much love and positive vibes, and I hope to see you in a later video. Bye! What's up, Jones Bones? This is your girl, Unitedly Random. You are group number 2, and this is the reading, Coping with Surviving. Now, we're going to go ahead and hop on into this, because I assume you watched the intro. But for card number 1, we are talking about how you can validate your experience. How can group number 2 validate their experience? And we immediately got the Four of Swords in reverse. It was the only card that came out. Now, the Four of Swords represents a moment of rest. It represents a moment of reflection, right? And with it being in reverse, I feel like it's saying you need to get out of this depression. And it's easier said than done. Oh my goodness. But you need to get up. It's kind of giving me a part of a little bit of a harder love, tough love, not harder love, but being a little bit more tough with you in this reading, because honestly, you want someone to be tough with you, okay? You've been feeling this pain for so long and you're just like, okay, I don't want to continue to feel this pain, but I don't know how to get it out of me. This is probably one of the reasons why you clicked this reading. But with the Four of Swords, it's like you need to stop reminiscing about this painful experience. And this is not to invalidate the situation. It's to say that the situation is validated without you constantly torturing yourself of sitting down and thinking about it, okay? Let me think. How to invalidate, how to validate, not invalidate, but how to validate your experience. How to validate your experience. It's saying that without you, you know, being, I don't know how to put it, but without you being really sad each day and just staying in the bed all day and just not getting anything done, you still validate your experience. It was still a painful experience, but you can still get things done is what I'm picking up on. You kind of like, everything stopped a little bit with this and you're kind of moving slow motion, and it's saying you don't have to move slow motion for this to be validated in your life. It happened. It's a part of you, but it's not always going to run your life, right? Don't allow it to run your life is what I'm picking up on. Because while you're moving in slow-mo, the person that hurt you is living their best life, right? So you should tap into that energy, or you have the power to tap into the energy of living your best life. We also have the Fool. It came out while I was talking to you. It's saying we need to get up. You need some sunlight in your life. You might be vitamin D deficient. I'm not a doctor, but you might be vitamin D deficient. Okay, so that has something to do. Oh, you guys, when I was going through a little bit of a depression, I was like, something's not right. My body feels wrong. It feels wrong. It feels wrong. And it was also depression, but also we found out I had a vitamin D deficiency. Now, surprise, surprise, the vitamin D deficiency will really fuck you up. I'm sorry for the profanity, but the vitamin D deficiency will really make you depressed. So on top of already being depressed, you're chemically imbalanced and even more depressed. So make sure you start taking some vitamin D gummies. I'm not a doctor, but I feel like taking gummies is not that big of a, you know, take gummies, and they're like, oh my gosh, you told her to take gum. Take your vitamins, okay? Just in general, take some vitamins, because you were in a period of not going out. You were in a period of depression. You were in a period of pause, and you weren't getting any sun during that time. So go out, feel the sunshine on your, I wanted to say feel the rain on your, it might be raining where you are right now. That's silly, but it might be raining where you are. But definitely you need to step out, go for a hike, go for a walk, and leave that confinement. Leave that confinement behind, because just confining yourself to one room, confining yourself to feeling like you're never going to get better is not going to do anything for your life. And also it doesn't validate it anymore. Like here's one thing. Here's the one thing that I picked up, okay? So, not to say that this is you. It could be anyone who watched this reading, right? But some people, someone has it in their mind that for them to truly mourn this situation, they have to look like they're mourning. And it's like, it's not a conscious thing, but you're like, okay, if like, you feel bad when you have a good day. It's one of those things, because it makes it feel like, oh my gosh, like, what am I happy about? Like, I just had the, like, it's someone who is wallowing is what I'm picking up. Someone out there is definitely wallowing in this pain, because they want to validate that it was a painful experience for them, right? So you don't want to let go of that pain because it's a part of how you classify yourself. It's a part of how you see yourself. And to let go of that pain, you don't know who you are anymore. And it's a very bizarre statement to go with. It's very bizarre. And I'm not saying that it's everybody out there, but I definitely feel like there's someone, at least one person, that needs to hear that to validate your pain, you don't have to constantly be wallowing in it. Let me go on to the next card. Position number 2. How is this experience affecting you? How is this experience affecting group number 2? How is this experience affecting group number 2? Oh my goodness, babe. You're walking around with the weight of the world on your shoulders. A lot of pressure, a lot of stress. It's just like you don't have anyone that you can turn to. You feel like you have to do everything by yourself. You're feeling so stressed out, and you're feeling like you're carrying everything. I feel like this might even be a secret to you. Like, it might be a secret that this happened to you, like no one else knows, and you've been carrying that information with you. Oh my goodness. I didn't think that this reading would trigger me, but like it reminds me of me being young and thinking, okay, like no one can know, but it's eating away at you. With the 10 of Wands, I'm feeling like you're just feeling a lot of pressure, a lot of pain in your heart, a lot of pain. You might be crying right now. Go get some tissue, go ahead and get some water, drink your water, okay, and take a moment, walk away, okay, if you got to, because there's a feeling, it's really, I don't know how to explain it, but in my heart right now, I'm feeling like someone just broke down and started crying, okay? Okay, go ahead and walk away. Go get your water, okay? Like, this is, it's not so deep that you can't take a break from it, you know what I mean? You're holding the weight of the world on your shoulders, and it's just so heavy. It's just so heavy, and you know, with the 10 of Wands, you know, you could look at this as, okay, we got all of our tools ready, and we're about to do something. We're about to get something done. We have all of it. But when I look at this, I just feel it's just heavy energy, super heavy energy right now. Let me go on to the next card, and it says, how can I let go of the blame? How can group number 2 let go of the blame? So the 7 of Cups card is represented by choices, and it's something that I picked up before, and it's really, I don't really want to be the one that's saying that you're choosing to remain in this, but it's kind of telling me with the tough love card from the beginning, you have to make the choice that you are growing from this. You have to choose to let your story be heard. You have to choose, you have to come out to someone if you never came out to someone. Because through that, you're going to open up a lot of things. Make sure that you're not coming out to snakes, okay? I'm going to put links for advocates, and I'm going to put links for calls that you can do and stuff like that. I'm going to make sure to put some links inside of my disclaimer box, because what I'm feeling like is you're stuck with the weight on your shoulder, and there's choices that you have to make to get out of that. And it's a choice that you don't make consciously. It's an unconscious choice, with the card being in reverse. You're not really making this consciously, but you're stepping into the idea of, okay, I want more and I want to do something different. So you have to choose and go forward and look for another answer than just laying down in this period of depression. I feel like someone is definitely depressed here. Someone is definitely going through a period of depression right here. And I think that you might need to choose if you're going to open up to your family, if you're going to get a therapist, if you're going to change your job, if you're going to start going after what you really enjoy in life. You're going to have to make some choices. And through those choices, you are going to unlock I do believe you're going to unlock letting go of that blame through your choices, right? And the next card is, how can you start to heal? How can group number 2 start to heal? And we got a card that came out, and it's justice. Okay, with the justice card, I'm thinking that the situation that happened to you is something that you could put that person away for. You could put that person away for it. You never opened up about it. Honestly, you don't want to put that person away. You feel like that's a lot of work. You feel like that's a lot of, you're not ready for that. That's not, you don't want revenge in that way. You just want to feel better. There's a level of balance that needs to happen, right? And I don't want to force you to like bring the law into it, but I think a little bit of what would make you feel better and what would really start the healing process is for you to go through this law moment, to go through and figure out the laws and find out what happened to you was not your fault. Let me see, because I'm looking at this, right? And a thought just popped into my head that you think that your situation, someone out there thinks that their situation, because I don't want to just put it on you, and this is different from the depression, but it's someone who, a young girl or boy, and it's someone that was older than you, right? And you're thinking, okay, I was young and I made the decision, and that's why I'm at fault. Like, you're blaming yourself because you're like, I'm young, I made the decision, so I'm at fault. But the justice card is reminding me or pointing out to me that if you were under a certain age, it doesn't matter because you could not consent. So if you're blaming yourself because you're like, I consented to this, and no, justice said, no, you didn't, you know? I also, while I was saying that, got an image of someone who is drinking. If you were under the influence, you did not consent to that. So you need to look at the laws for you to really recognize that what happened to you wasn't right. And you were feeling bad because you were like, I don't know why. Some people didn't know why they were feeling bad because they're like, okay, but I consented to this. And it's just like, look at the justice card, look into the laws, and you'll see that you couldn't consent to it, right? And when you realize that not only do you feel bad about this situation, but it is a bad situation, right? If you look at the laws and the laws are like, wait a minute, this is punishable by jail, you're going to realize that you don't have to validate your experience by just sitting around and feeling sad, because there's also laws around that will validate that experience for you, okay? And when you look into that and you validate your experience in that way, you're starting to heal, because then you're not just keeping it inside of you, you're actually opening up and you're seeing that, hey, I feel bad about this thing because it was a bad thing that happened. I don't know who needed to hear that, but you needed to hear that was a bad thing that happened. Position 5. What support does group number 2 need? What support does group number 2 need? Okay, so with the Lovers card, I'm not just talking about like being in a relationship, but also I feel like some of you guys are in a relationship with someone. If there's someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with, you might need to tell them about what happened to you as a younger person, or you might need to tell them about what happened to you. Just open up to the person. If you see yourself with this person for a long time and they're very trustworthy. But on top of that, I have a feeling that the Lovers is also representing connections with other people, right? So, I don't know why I got twin soul from this. But so, with the Lovers and how you can support the support that you need support of like someone who is going to care for you, someone who is going to take care of you in your bad days. And that's why I said that it's not just a love relationship, because you can find that in a friend. And a lot of my healing was facilitated through a friend who was like the Lover's card to me. Someone who was there for me and cared about me, and it was someone who pushed me to do better. But also the Lover card is in reverse. So this is the energy that you need to step into. Step into not only just someone else giving you the love and respect that you deserve, but you have to give yourself the love and respect that you deserve, okay? You wanted so much to happen in your life. You had so many dreams and things that you wanted to do, right? But once the thing happened, you kind of went into your cocoon, and you can't even see yourself accomplishing those things that you wanted to accomplish anymore. And so we need to put some self-care on ourselves. Make sure you take a shower every day. You don't have to take a shower every day. You know what I'm saying? But like, make sure you brush your teeth every day, right? To take different steps to show yourself, show your body that you love you, and you're going to be building your ladder. Definitely build a ladder to get yourself out of this funk. But definitely reach out, communicate with people. I'll put links down below of places that you can communicate with. I'm always a person for therapy. Now, like, I'll talk about therapy on my channel a little bit later. I'll talk about the different therapists that I've met and interacted with. But definitely reach out. If you can, definitely reach out, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next group. Much love and positive vibes. Hopefully you stick around. I'm going to talk about my healing journey on my channel. And I will see you next time. Hello, group number 3. It is your girl, Unitedly Random. And today we're going to be continuing the SAAM's month with the good old Coping with Surviving tarot spread, okay? Now, I explained what this spread was going to talk about in the beginning. I even gave more details about the creator of this spread because I wanted to know if that information would trigger you. If it triggered you, you would have already clicked off. But we're going to be talking about something deep and emotional, and it's not an easy topic to have. So I just want you to know that if any moment throughout this reading you feel the urge to just, shut it off, and go get some water and just, untap from this energy, I am completely fine with you untapping with this energy. Do what's best for you, boo. So let's go ahead and get into position number 1. So how can group number 3 validate their experience? How can group number 3 validate their experience? 5 of Wands in reverse. 5 of Wands in reverse, right? Okay, so the 5 of Wands represents people fighting in a little, I don't know if you can see it, but like it represents these schoolgirls fighting. And let me pull another card with this because I feel like another card needs to be pulled. But it is in reverse. So it's kind of like stepping into the energy of being angry. Ooh, you got to step into the energy of being angry. Let me see what else. How can group number 3 validate their experience? You step into the energy of being angry, and then you have to leave. You have to leave. I don't know if you're still in this position or you're still with that person that hurt you in that way, and you're like, I don't know, like, no, get angry and leave. Leave as soon as you can, okay? Because it's what you need to do for the safety of you is what I'm picking up on. Validate your experience by not just sitting there and smiling with the person that hurt you when you know that they hurt you. Now, like, I left. Let me just throw this out there. I left the whole dang country. I went to South Korea. And the thing with going to South Korea is things will follow you. So the idea is not just leaving and it's done. You leave and you also have to go through the healing process. But you can't go through the healing process if you're not even fighting for yourself in this way, right? Fight for a way to get out of this situation. I feel like, what do you need to do to leave your surrounding where this person hurt you? Because I feel like out of all my groups, you are someone who is possibly still currently getting hurt, or it's just recently happened and you're still kind of stuck in this energy. And honestly, people will be stuck in that energy for years, okay? But I feel like this is more recent for you. We have to go and we have to do some things. Step into the energy of getting angry, and we're already on our way of reaching another level. Being angry does validate this situation for you. Being angry and recognizing that what happened was wrong is validating in and of itself. So we're going to go into position number 2, and it's talking about how is this experience affecting you? How is this experience affecting you? So how is this experience affecting group number 3? Oh, goodness. We got a lot of cards. 9 of Swords. You can't sleep at night. I really feel like you're still in a position where you're near the person that hurt you, and that's why you can't sleep at night. You're unsatisfied with what you're doing in life. You probably got the dream job, but you're not even happy with the dream job. With the 7 of Pentacles, you're just kind of sitting back and you're like, okay, very dissatisfied, can't sleep at night. And then we have the Knight of Swords, right? So this is talking about how this is affecting you. It's making you a little impulsive. You, how do I say this? You can't sleep at night. You're dissatisfied with your surroundings, and you're feeling stressed out. You're being very impulsive with your words. You're saying things that you don't mean to people. Like you're snapping at people. And 3 of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like you're not collaborating well with others because of this situation. I don't know if it was a boss. It could have been something that happened at your job, and you don't want to lose your job, so you haven't said anything to HR about what happened or something like that. But it's affecting you all around because you're thinking about it when you go home. You're thinking about it, and it's making you feel stressed out because it affects your money. It affects your livelihood. So it could be that you're married, and I don't know how to put this. Okay, so it could be that you are married and the person that you're married to is the person that hurts you, because that can hurt your livelihood if you're like, okay, I can't be with you, but you're hurting me, right? But it could also have something to do with something that happened in a work setting, my people out here, and you're just kind of like, okay, but like, I need to go, but like, I need to wait for all of my seeds to kind of come out to grab them so I can go with them, because I can't go without money. I can't do this without this, right? Knight of Swords, like I said, you're very like, very in the attack mode. You're very in the charge mode. You're very sharp towards people. Even people that you like, you've been a little rude to them, okay, because of what happened to you. And it's because you're feeling very emotional about this whole situation. With the 3 of Pentacles in reverse, again, you're not collaborating well with others. You're not getting along well with others right now because of this situation. So the next position is how you can let go of the blame. How can group number 3 let go of the blame? Okay, we got everything is fine. You need to stop telling yourself everything is fine. That's the biggest lie you've ever told yourself. Okay, everything is not fine. You're not feeling well. You're not feeling well at all. Okay, with the everything is fine, and then the freaking 9 of Swords coming out too. It's just like you might be putting a image that everything is fine, but you are like this close to breaking down, okay? You are this close to really breaking down about this situation. And it's because you are not angry about it. And that's why I said validate. You got to get angry about it. I feel like this is one of those situations where it happened and you haven't even begun to process it a little bit. So that's why I said get angry about it. Because when you're processing grief, when you're processing sadness, isn't anger one of those first few emotions? Fact check me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong, but like anger is one of those emotions that you feel in the grief process. So you need to get to that anger moment. Everything is not fine, okay? And just telling yourself that everything is fine is not you letting go of the blame. It's you letting the blame fester underneath. You're putting a band-aid over the wound without even clearing the wound out, right? The next card that we have is the 7 of Cups. Choices. This is the choice card. Okay, so you're stepping into the energy of realizing that everything is not fine, and you need to clean the wound before you put a band-aid over it. And once you step into that energy, you're stepping into the energy of the Seven of Cups energy, right? You're going to have some choices to make. You might have to leave a job. You might need to leave a situation. And how do you leave a situation? You have to sit back and look at your reality, and you have to choose how to go forward. Therapy is always a good place to go forward too, right? If this is something that happened at your job, contact HR, okay? Because here's the thing, you wouldn't want that to happen to someone else, right? And if that person took advantage of you, they could easily take advantage of someone else. That's the whole big thing. You don't want someone else to go through the pain that you went through, right? And I feel like the person who hurt you is a person that has some type of power over you in some type of way. We don't want them to have the power over you, but sometimes it's hard to kind of ignore the power that certain people might have over us. Like, let's see, for example, Stu, my husband, he has certain power over me. He has a car and I don't have a car. And I think that it seems very trivial, but let's say I want to go and just go for a ride. I have to ask him to use his car. So he has power over me. We also have the Three of Swords that fell out while we were talking about this. And it's talking about this. These cards specifically are talking about how to heal, I do believe. Oh goodness, where are we? It's all over the place at this point. How to let go of the blame. Yeah, how to let go of the blame. Okay, so we have everything is fine, the Seven of Cups, choices. You have the choice to let go of the pain. And then we have the Three of Swords upright. So it's talking about we got to cry it out. We got to cry it out. We got to cry it out in a group setting. We have to speak. You have to unlock your throat chakra, okay? You have to speak it to a group. You have to speak it to someone, and someone's going to listen. And through that, you're going to cry it out. And when you're crying, those teardrops are going to cleanse your soul. It's going to be very healing for you to just cry, okay? Because I feel like this happened to you, and you've just been in a, how do I say, funky mood since it happened. But you're not crying too much, and you're not angry. You're just like, you're in shock. This is a little bit of an energy of you were in shock, and now you're processing these emotions, right? So for the next card, how do you start to heal? Group number 3, how do you start to heal? And I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. How do you start to heal, group number 3? Temperance. You're stepping into a balance. You're stepping into balance. And that's how you heal. You balance your moods, and you balance yourself, and you get help, the help that you need. And through that, you find stable ground again. So how do you start to heal? You have to put yourself in a position where you can find balance again. So you have to put yourself in a position where you don't have to deal with this person. And that's where the Eight of Wands comes in. Balance. You go, right? But you can't just leave it forever. You got to come back and heal it. But you go and you get healing, and you're finding balance while you're getting healing. And you're talking it out, and you're realizing that you're valid, and you're realizing that your pain is valid. And let me pull another card for how do you start to heal. Group number 3. How do you start to heal? In the Star card, you had a lot of hopes and dreams, and you had a lot of passion before this. With the Star card, just like the Temperance card, we both have our cups, and we are both balancing the waters between the two. With the Star card, we're talking about specifically hopes and dreams and stuff like that, right? So with this energy, I feel like you're stepping into an energy of, ooh, night and day. So you're stepping into the energy of you're balancing your shadow side, specifically shadow side, because I got night. You're balancing your shadow side, and then you come through on your hopes and your dreams. So it's really funny that it's like night and day when the stars are out at night and the sun is out during the day, but this is the night and this is the day. So there's a lot of balance that needs to happen, and once you balance yourself, you're stepping into working on a goal, working on a dream of yours, something that you've always wanted to do. It's one of those projects that you're going to go into, and it's going to help you heal, and it's going to heal other people too. I don't know what you're going to do, but you've been thinking about doing something. Position number 5, what support do you need? What support does group number 3 need? What support does group number 3 need? So with the sun is telling me that you have the support that you need. I don't know why, but you have the support that you need. I think that you need to turn to your spirit guides. If you're very much into tarot cards, which we got a lot of tarot cards out today, so I feel like that's because there's somebody out here who can read these cards, right? So they're just like, hey, we can give you the whole thing. You might have been seeing some, whenever you do readings, you might be getting some synchronicities. You might be getting the same cards when you get or do a reading, right? But with the sun card, I feel like you have the help already on the way. You have the people already in place, but you haven't even turned to them yet because you're still processing the pain. You're still in the energy of, okay, this happened to me and this hurts, right? And that's what I'm picking up on you. We have to go ahead and get angry. What happened to you was not right, and it will never be right. And that's that. The validation is it wasn't right, is what I'm picking up on. I hope that this helps in your healing journey of some way. Remind yourself that with the sun card, you are supported and you have support around you. You just have to open up to the people. Make sure you check their vibes first. Check their vibes first, because you have the power to check vibes. I don't know why that popped up, but check the vibes of the people. And if you trust them, then open up to them, because they were sent to you by your spirit guides to help you heal. They were sent to you by your spirit guides to help you grow. And they were sent to you to say some things that, the thing is, when everybody's saying the same thing, and I don't know why this popped up to me, but when everybody's saying the same thing, and even if it doesn't seem nice, when everybody's saying the same thing, maybe you need to listen a little bit. I don't know if you've been hearing something and I don't know, but something told me that you need to listen, okay? Because you don't listen is what I'm picking up. You might be a Taurus, but much love and positive vibes. I hope to see you again in another reading for your girl Unitedly Random. But also keep in mind with my random posts, when I'm randomly posting myself, I do share stories about my painful experience, and I do share stories about how I'm growing, and I do mental health check-ins. So I think that if you would like to be a part of a community that in some way understands what's happening and is a advocate, not only a survivor, but I am an advocate for this community, please go ahead and continue to watch, or please go ahead and continue to be a part of this channel, because through that, I feel like I can heal not only myself, but someone else by healing myself publicly, right? Much love and positive vibes, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.